I just finished watching the pilot episode of the Chucky series, and this review will have spoilers, but the show centers around this kid named Jake, and he lives in New Jersey, which I think the first movie, maybe the first two, it just dawned on me, I just remembered, at least the first one was filmed in Chicago. So this new TV series is either filmed in and takes place in New Jersey, but it's set in New Jersey during the fall, which is awesome because it is currently fall. Halloween is this month, so it was very, very I loved seeing the leaves around everything. I'm somebody who's very into scenes in movies or even photographs. The set design really affects my mood. So seeing the leaves and everything just made me it just made a really good atmosphere. Also made it extra creepy, if it's around Halloween season, it just ups the creep factor. You get an insight into Jake's life, his family, his friends, or lack thereof. He is at a yard sale and he buys a Chucky doll for $10. So obviously this is the Chucky, and I have questions, because if he bought it from this woman, where did she get him from? How long has she had him? Had he revealed himself to her? Why is she still alive? I have so many questions about why this woman has this doll. And it's interesting because his dad doesn't like the fact that he makes doll sculptures. So he hates the fact that his son likes dolls, and busts up his doll sculpture and tells him he needs to get rid of this Chucky doll. And he does some research and finds out that this doll is very valuable, and he lists it for sale and immediately gets a phone call from somebody warning him about Chucky. And then he does this quick online search and realizes that a Chucky doll was involved in all of these murders. And the guy on the phone tells him to check the batteries. And of course he checks the batteries and there are no batteries in there. And Chucky quickly after that reveals himself to Jake. And Devon Sawa plays twins in this series. And the twins are polar opposites. Jake's dad is a mechanic, I think, that owns his own shop and is an alcoholic. Jake's mom died, I don't know how recently, but his dad is all messed up about it. And Chucky quickly offs him. So then Jake goes to live with his uncle and his cousin, who he doesn't get along with. His cousin is this popular kid. Jake is in middle school and he is bullied because of his sexuality, and it just reminds me of how hellacious schools are and why we're going to be homeschooling our kid. Because it's pretty much like going to a prison every day. School's horrible. What makes the show so amazing is the fact that Brad Dourif is brought back. The original voice of Chucky is brought back. The only one that could voice Chucky, and what gives Chucky just the essence of Chucky. What you love about Chucky is his crazy voice and his crazy laugh. So he has brought back Don Mancini. I think Mancini is that how he pronounces his name. He wrote and directed the original Chucky movies, and so he is brought back. So it gives this level of authenticity that if you grew up with this series, you need and you appreciate. And even if you didn't grow up with it, if you're just tuning in for the first time, it's fun. It's well done. All the people that made it great originally are back, and that is what is going to make it successful, because this pilot episode kicked off the season really well, and it's very, very promising. So if going back to what I was saying, if you are an old fan, if you grew up with this franchise, you'll kind of see some subtle nods to the original couple movies. So in the second movie, Andy brings Chucky to school, or Chucky like hitches a ride and like comes to school, and the teacher takes away the doll, keeps it in the closet, and has this like deadly confrontation with Chucky. So Jake also brings Chucky to school. I'm kind of unsure why he brings him to school, because he has him like out front and center, like not in his bag. And I guess he takes him to school to get him out of the house so his dad doesn't see him. And he's hanging on to him so that he can sell him, because I think he finds out that he can get him sold for $1,500 and he needs $1,000 for art camp or something. You see him in his new room at his uncle's house. It's like a blue and red theme, I believe, which is kind of similar to Andy's foster home house, his bedroom in that house in the second movie. These, I'm assuming, are intentional, or maybe they've got to be intentional. If you really have watched these movies over and over again and you grew up with them like I did, you notice these subtleties. So it's something that I noticed that I'm assuming was intentional. But I think that this show is going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's kind of the purpose of it. They're bringing back, I think that the guy who played Andy's come back as an adult. We didn't see him in this episode yet. The woman who played a foster kid at the same house, who was older, 17, 18, in the second movie, she's coming back as well. Jennifer Tilly's supposed to be coming back. And I think Brad Dourif's daughter is going to be in there somewhere. So it's all these familiar faces that I just think are going to make the show fun. And it feels like that's the primary reason to bring it back, was for them to have fun and the fans to have fun and to be able to appreciate it in a new way. And this is an example of bringing something back that is beloved in a new way, that is fresh, that is not just regurgitating old crap and bringing something back that doesn't make sense. Like when I watched the Scream trailer, I just thought, this is a weak story from what I can tell so far. You know, just a new person wanting to be the slasher, the ghost face, and all the people involved were like related to the original killers. It's just weak. It's like, okay, let's find some random connection to bring this movie back and have a cash cow, you know? But I just feel like the Chucky TV series is so much more than that. The episode ends with what appears to be a flashback to Charles Lee Ray as a kid. So that is going to be a perspective that we've never gotten before, the history of Charles Lee Ray. So that is going to be interesting to see. I'm very looking forward to the second episode, and I hope that the rest of the series keeps going well. If you caught the pilot episode of Chucky, let me know what you thought. Did you grow up with this series like I did? And just leave me all your thoughts. And if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when I upload in the future. And I'll see you in my next video.